Hello and welcome back to the Be Free podcast. You have a lovely solo episode today. And today I am going to be sharing about I just did a live on Instagram, and since doing the live, I've had so much downloads and thoughts about what it is I want to share. And it's this concept of going with the flow. So moving with our, I guess, more feminine energy as opposed to the overscheduling and all those kind of things. However, I'm going to caveat that with yesterday, I had a day where I went with the flow, or so I thought. And I got to like lunchtime and I was like, doesn't feel right. Like, what is wrong? Why am I not enjoying my day as much as I normally do? And it just got me processing and thinking. And then I had this incredible little insight and download as I was thinking, maybe I should have written a to-do list because I've actually done a lot today. And if I had like written the to-do list and ticked off all the things, then maybe I would feel better. And then my brain and my mind and my heart and my head, or maybe my higher self was like, it's not that. And I was thinking that because I know that previously I used to schedule everything. And I think at points in time there is a that can be a good thing. And I'll maybe come on to that, I'll see. But for me, I used to overschedule. So this past year, I have spent time really, I guess because I was forced to slow down and stop. So yesterday, as I say, sorry, I'm diversifying already, jumping around. It's an exciting topic. Um, Yesterday, as I said, I was like, okay, so maybe I should have written a list and then I would have done all those things. And then my higher self or whatever was like, no, it's not that. And I'm like thinking, well, what is it? Because I know that writing the list, did that fill my heart and soul? Would it have? No. Would I have felt better? Maybe a little bit. But it wasn't so much about the sense of achievement in doing. What I became aware of, it was the lack of consciousness in what I was doing. So if I had woke up that day and spent more time, because what happened was I'd woken up late, I'd felt groggy because I had a bit of fatigue because the day before I'd done a lot of things that were challenging my vestibular system, challenging my anxiety, just a challenging but positive day. It was a positive day, but doing things that I hadn't done for a while. So I was feeling quite flat energetically. So I never got up early. I hadn't meditated by this point, and I hadn't been conscious about how I wanted to feel that day. I had just gone into the day thinking, oh, I'll go with the flow, I'll have a long lie. I started just, paying bills, invoicing clients, replying to emails, thinking, oh, well, I'm still in my pajamas, I'm having a chill day, I'm going with the flow. But I was feeling edgy. Like I felt really edgy. I felt my anxiety was beginning to build. And I'm like, this is weird because I am, in theory, going with the flow. Why is this not making me feel better? um, and it just really forced me to realize that actually we do need, and it doesn't need to be structure. Like I don't want to say that, like I don't want to say I want you to structure your life. I want you to have consciousness and intention. I'm using my microphone today. If you're watching on YouTube, sorry, a helicopter's just gone overhead because there's so much external noise today. So I'm hoping the microphone, if you're listening, is blocking out the sound of chickens pecking and my dog and the builders and helicopters. But I really wanted to record this today. So fingers crossed the mic isn't picking up all the background sound. Yeah. So I really want you to bring that conscious awareness to your day. And that does require you to pause. It does require you to have an element of flow and surrender, and not just completely overschedule your day with tasks and things like that without thinking about why they're there, why you're doing them. And I've got some questions for you at the end of this podcast, and there's some things I want you to reflect on. These could be like daily journal prompts, or you could just process them in your mind as you're listening to this podcast, just to begin to help you develop that awareness of how you want to show up in your day. Now, I have a planner you can download from my website in the tools section. I'll maybe pop the link in the show notes, like a daily planner. And it asks you there, like, what's your affirmation for the day? How you want to feel today? So that could simply be the guide for the day. And that is typically how I map out my days. Like, I know what's coming up. So say yesterday, I was out at night. I was out at a event in a bar, and like socially, vestibularly, like lots of people, lots of noise, all these things can trigger, or previously has triggered my balance system. So I am very aware of that, and these things do fatigue me now. So if I had woken up consciously thinking about that, I could be thinking, okay, well, how do I want to feel at night? I want to feel calm. I want to feel joyful. I want to feel connected. Okay, how can I bring those things into my day? And I did. As soon as I had the realization, I was like, this does not feel good. What's going on? I actually stopped. I did a beautiful yin yoga practice that just connected me back into my body, back into my heart. It was a 20-minute practice, and that freaking changed my day. So, when we suggest that you go with the flow or move more with your feminine energy, it doesn't suddenly mean that you just give up all the things that support you and just freewheel through life, just answering everybody else's requests, like being guided by that. You need to show up with your own intentions and your own guidance as to how you want your day to look and how you want it to go. And as I say, that might be like specific activities such as, okay, well, like for me, I know that my meditation and yoga practice, my journaling practice, or, whatever my spiritual practices are in the morning are essential for me to feel good. That could just be, reading a beautiful spiritual book or taking a bath and listen to meditation in the bath or whatever it is. I know that those things are necessary, and it doesn't have to be the same thing every day. Maybe it is for you. Maybe you like doing the same thing every day. But, check in with yourself what you feel you need that day to kind of set your intention for the day. So don't compromise the habits, practices, rituals, routines that support you. Like they're like the baseline. They can be the structure. If it's that weekly Pilates class, I've just started Pilates again, freaking loving it. Shout out to Erin at Mana Life. She's an incredible teacher. You know, if it's the Pilates, if it's the weekly yoga, if it's listening to this podcast, if it is, taking yourself in nature every single day, that is a big one for me. Those things can be the structure. That can be the structure. So don't give up all the things that support you. The other thing I would say about structure and planning, and yes, it's beautiful to go with the flow. Some things require planning, and I'm going to give an example of this. So you may have like bigger goals or bigger things that you want to achieve. And I don't mean it doesn't have to be like anything colossal, but for me, I've decided this year I want to connect with nature more. I really want to become more self-sustainable. So I'm growing my own produce. What I've come to realize is you cannot fly by the seat of your pants, winging it when you're trying to grow fruit and vegetables. Who knew? It's so bloody technical. Actually, it's not totally technical, but it does require a plan, and it does require you to do things at certain times in order for the fruit and vegetables to grow to their best. So it's the same with us as human beings. What do we need to do at certain times to help us grow at our best? And that may change season to season, as it does with the fruit and veg. But, planning my vegetable bed and planning my seedlings and doing all these things has actually required effort, planning, and scheduling to give me something that brings me so much joy to be in nature, because my higher goal of being more sustainable, of connecting more with nature, is guiding that. So there will be things you need to do that require a plan, but equally, you can be guided intuitively. So I have been guided intuitively to spend more time in nature. I have been guided intuitively to plant these beautiful fruit and vegetables for nourishing my family, myself, and maybe my community. Who knows if there's enough? That would be really, really cool. But I'm away to start doing business coaching with a client just now. And, the same thing comes there. If you start a business and just completely wing it, yeah, that might work and it might get you to where you want to be. But equally, there does need to be another helicopter. There does need to be some form of plan or structure, because otherwise you might end up doing shit you don't even want to do. You might end up like somebody will say, oh, can you do this? And you go, okay. Can you do this? Oh, okay. And then you may end up in a place where you're like, how did I get here? This wasn't where I was supposed to be, because you're then just being solely led by others. So even when you're starting a business or running a business, we need to check in with ourselves and be like, okay, is this where I want to be? Where do I want to be? What makes me feel good? What works for me? What is my intention from my business? Who do I want to serve? Checking in intentionally, consciously with all these things. And then you can put the things in place, and then you surrender. Okay, so then you surrender. So it's a bit like the manifestation episodes that I've recorded in the past, or if you've done my vision board course, yeah, we have the plan, we know where we want to go, we know how we want to feel, we step into that emotions, we step into that feelings, we step into that guidance, and then we surrender and see what comes. And we trust our gut and we trust our intuition and tune into those things. So there will be parts of your life that require planning. And then there will be parts of your life that allow you can just free flow. Like, where do I want to go for my walk today? I don't know, beach or forest, or just down my farm track, or, we can go with the flow and elements of our life and see where life takes us. But equally, some elements of life will require planning. But I just want you to check in, and I'm going to take you through some questions, reminders, to help you begin to be more conscious in the creation of your day, not in a controlling, overscheduling, crazy OCD way. One other little thing I wanted to put down here, and I made a little note to remind myself, which is quite ironic because it's about reminding yourself that if you are stressed, if you are anxious, if you are overwhelmed, if you're perimenopausal, menopausal, and your cognition isn't at its best, sometimes we do need reminders to do the things that are good for us, to take medication, to take supplements, to do the yoga practice, to do the meditation. For me, it's like to do my vestibular exercises every day. To drink water. I have a reminder on my phone about drinking water. Over the winter, I would tend to not drink as much, obviously, as I would in the summer. So, I need to have the consciousness because I know that makes me feel good. And sometimes we need reminders to do the things that make us feel good, because life is pulling us in all the other ways to shit that doesn't make us feel good. Like sitting, I don't know, this again, consciously, sitting scrolling Instagram for freaking hours, or, getting sucked into Netflix for hours when actually you really want to, for me, like plant the garden or be in nature. But equally, scrolling Instagram, sometimes I will do it consciously. I'll think, okay, I'm just going to go and I'm going to have like half an hour. And anyone who messages me or connects with me will know this. Like sometimes I'll be like all in and chatting away to someone, and then I might not be back for a day, because that's just how I work with it. Sometimes I'm finding I'm getting benefit from the space. Sometimes I'm finding I'm not, so I will pull away. So yeah, but if you're doing it consciously, so, having a conscious day off, like actually I'm going to have today off. Okay, what do I want to do in my day off that's going to nourish me? Oh, I'm just going to go with the flow, or I'm just going to lie in bed and read a book and have a cup of tea. But we have to even then have the awareness to do those things and remind ourselves, because otherwise you just get sucked into everybody else's expectations. So here's some questions that I thought might help you. And it's ones that I sometimes ask myself in my journal in the morning just to check in. And my first question is, what can I do for my health today? So health has been a big focus for me. And today I just answered drink more water. It's obviously on the mind. I've got a little watering can beside me here. But I'm not going to drink from that. Anyway, I forgot this is a podcast. Carry on, Susie. Okay, what can I do for my health today? Question number 1. Question number 2. What can I do for my happiness and joy today? Okay, so thinking about what's going to bring me happiness and joy today. And it might be something so small like, I don't know, having really nice, fresh, lovely pajamas on at bedtime, or putting essential oils in your diffuser, or taking the dog to the beach. These are all things that bring me joy, or just like having a nice bath, or calling a friend, or watching some funny memes. Like, I don't know, like just what is going to bring you happiness and joy today? So all we're doing is we're asking these questions. We're beginning to train our brain to move to a more conscious space, a more mindful space out of just mindlessness, living mindlessly. What can I do for my wealth today? And I love this question now. And I want you just to think about this, not just financially, although it can be financial. But where do you feel that you're lacking in your life? Is it in relationships and friendships? So how can you make yourself feel more wealthy in that area? Who could you reach out to? What action could you take? Is it just engaging with giving someone a call? If it is financial, how can I increase my wealth, or what can I do for my wealth today? Maybe it's actually paying a bill and just thinking, oh, I'm grateful that I can pay that bill. Or maybe it is selling something on eBay you've been meaning to sell, or your wealth might be relating to your health. Like, so how can I feel more wealthy and abundant in my health? Oh, I'm going to make myself a really delicious home cooked dinner. So I want you to think about wealth in just that. What area do you maybe feel that you're lacking, or what area do you want to feel more abundant and wealthy in? Next question, what actions need to get done today? So there will be things that need to get done, like, I don't know, take the dog to the groomer, or pay a certain bill, or call a certain person, or, you maybe have a certain work project that needs to be done. Get really clear on your actions. What do you need to get done today? Not what does Sheila from HR who's emailing you about such and such, or, whatever. What actions do you need to get done today? And that is your focus. Okay, so you don't get dragged off, get to the end of the day and you're like, oh my God, shit, I haven't got all the stuff done that I wanted to do. Yeah, because you haven't been clear and focused on what it is you need to get done. And that doesn't need to be a huge, massive to-do list. Literally maximum 3 things, I would suggest. It could just be one, like, or what is your number 1 priority to get done today? Because that will give you that sense of achievement. That will help you feel more in control of your day, of your life, and showing up with the intention around that. And then thinking, how do I want to feel today? So be aware of what you have coming up. Do you have a presentation at work that you want to feel confident in? Do you have a day off to yourself and you just want to feel really relaxed? Do you have, I don't know, a project to do? Okay, so you want to feel really focused and clear and articulate or whatever. Get really clear on, okay, what have you got going on in your day? How do you want to feel? How do you want to show up in those activities? Oh my gosh, this stuff is getting me so inspired. I'm like, yeah. And I hope it's inspiring you too, because it is inspiring. Taking control of our lives, but not in a controlling way, like just having the conscious awareness to show up every single day, to do the things that we want to do. Like, you're an individual, and your light, your things need to be shared. So let's stop being pulled away by other people and start showing up with your own gifts in your own way, and being your most abundant, beautiful, healthy, happy, joyful self, because that will cause one big mother bear bleep ripple effect. So yeah. So I'm going to stop there, my beautiful friends. I'm trying to keep the solo episodes shorter so that you can just enjoy them, get a little boost. I have some other guests lined up. I hope you enjoyed last week's podcast. If not, if you haven't listened to it yet, go and check it out. I've had so much feedback from that podcast. From interviewing a vet who is a Heal Your Life, You Can Heal Your Life practitioner. Such a great, powerful podcast on self-love. If you want to connect with me, please do jump into my messages, drop me an email, comment if you're watching this on YouTube. That would be amazing. I have an in-person event coming up on the 2nd of April. I have 2 spaces left, so I'm going to be back teaching meditation, and it's a meditation and essential oils event, which is actually all about alignment, which I'm very excited about. And what else have I got coming up? You can now, if you're listening to this and you don't live locally to me, you can have card readings done online via Zoom by me, and also distance healing. I'm seeing 1 client a week. So if that's something that interests you, please reach out to me and I can tell you what's available there too. So have a beautiful, beautiful week. And I hope this has inspired you. Please let me know, feedback to me how you found this particular episode, and I can't wait to connect soon.